today. Sino na inassign ko na magre-recap?
Hi, hello ma'am. Good afternoon po.
Ay, sige. You can share your screen if mag-ano ka.
Hindi naman ma'am. Basahin ko lang po. Sige.
Okay,
Start ko na ma'am.
Okay, sige.
So good afternoon everyone, no? And I'm Rainiel Dandan, and I am tasked to provide a recap for our last meeting discussion for everyone's information and as reference for the today's meeting. So last meeting, Ma'am Onet discussed estimation and hypothesis testing, beginning with the importance of random sampling to avoid selection bias. She introduced the class in two areas of statistical inference: the estimation, which involves guessing or estimating the unknown population parameters, and the hypothesis testing, which evaluate claims about these parameters. So in estimation, she explained the point estimation, calculating a single value from sample data to estimate a population parameter, and interval estimation, constructing a confidence interval that likely contain the true parameter value. She highlighted the properties of a good estimator, such as the unbiasedness, consistency, and efficiency. Confidence interval were discussed in detail, including their interpretation, common confidence interval such as the 90%, 95%, and 99%, and the significance level and critical values which came from the C distribution when the population standard deviation is unknown, or the C students T distribution when standard deviation is unknown. She illustrated this with example involving soil nitrogen content, height, plant height, and pollutant concentration, along with other cases such as computing CIs or confidence intervals for variance and standard deviation using the chi-square distribution. She also explained the role of margin of error as the maximum expected difference between the estimate and the true value. For hypothesis testing, Ma'am Onet explained the formulation of the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. The different type of alternative hypothesis, the one-tailed and the two-tailed, and the concept of critical region where null hypothesis is rejected, and the acceptance region where null hypothesis is not rejected, based on the test statistic and significance level. She discussed also the type 1 and type 3 errors along with the guidelines for summarizing results when rejecting or failing to reject null hypothesis. So in addition, two main decision-making approaches were also presented: the traditional method, which compared the test statistic with a critical value, and the p-value method, which compared the p-value with alpha. She introduced the one sample t-test for situations where standard deviation is unknown, noting its assumption of independence, normality, by assessing a tool like QQ-plot or the Shapiro-Wilk test. So random sampling and appropriate measurement scale. So practical examples showed how to test normality before performing hypothesis tests. When normality assumptions are violated, especially with small samples, she recommended the non-parametric alternatives such as the Wilcox signed rank test, which evaluate median and works with at least ordinal data or even when the distribution are asymmetric. So Ma'am Onet also applied these theories in R, showing how to run the calculation and interpret the the results in the software. And the session ended with her reminder to everyone to choose appropriate text, verify assumption, and present results in a way that communicate both statistical evidence and their practical meaning. So I think that's the recap of the last meeting discussion. No? And if I miss something, ma'am, or a wrong interpretation, please feel free to add po and correct. Thank you.
Ayun. So, thank you, Reniel. So, very detailed naman yung naging recap. I think lahat naman ng na-discuss ko last meeting ay, ayun, okay naman.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, thank you. So, balikan ko lang yung sa may pag-perform ka ng one sample t-test for review. Di ko pala nailagay sa notes yung kung paano mag-evaluate ng normality. Nag-show na lang pala ako ng codes doon. So, ngayon, in-enhance ko yung lecture na in-upload ko last meeting. So, nagdagdag ako dito ng ilang discussion on how to evaluate or assess the normality using different statistical tools like CRAP and formal hypothesis testing. So, yung unang ginamit natin is yung normal quantile plot or normal probability plot, which is a graph of points where each x value is from the original set of sample data and each y value is corresponding z-score that is a quantile value expected from the standard normal distribution. So, ang isang ginagamit din natin sa pag-e-evaluate ng normality is yung histogram. Ito yung example ng normally distributed data using histogram at saka QQ plot. So, kapag ganito yung itsura ng histogram, tas nag-draw ka ng imaginary curve, dapat pasok siya doon sa imaginary curve kapag sinabing normal yung data. Kapag quantile plot naman or QQ plot, pasok siya dito sa data points. Kasi yung mga data points na lalagpas dito sa red line na to, like for example ito, mga suspected outliers na yan sa ating data. So ito naman yung example ng isang histogram na hindi normal yung distribution. Like for example, ito flat line lang siya. Ito ay example ng isang uniform distribution wherein equal yung frequency and the probability distribution of the dataset. Tapos, ganito naman yung itsura ng hindi normal na QQ plot. So, parang pa-S yung kanyang pattern. So, most likely, ito ay nagpa-follow ng exponential distribution. So, kung mapapansin nyo, medyo mahirap i-assess yung normality kung base lang tayo sa graphical tools like histogram and QQ plot. Kaya gumagamit tayo ng formal test at ang ginamit natin ay yung Shapiro-Wilk test. So, sa Shapiro-Wilk test, ang hypothesis testing method ito na ang HO natin ay normal yung data, tapos yung HA natin not normal. So, sa R, ang ginamit nating function sa pagpe-perform ng Shapiro-Wilk variable from our dataset na itetest natin for normality. Take note na ginagamit lang to kapag ang data ay continuous. So, nag-perform tayo ng one sample t-test So ang one sample t-test again ginagamit to test whether yung mean ng single sample differs significantly from a known or hypothesized population mean with unknown population standard deviation. So ganito yung itsura ng ating null hypothesis, pero pwede siyang equal, less than or equal, and then greater than or equal. And then yung HA is yung kabaligtaran nitong ating null hypothesis. So ito yung manual computation. Ito yung different assumptions, independence, normality, random sampling, scale of the measurement, and yung population standard deviation is unknown. So ito yung example 1 ko, yung about sa heights ng 12 corn plants. Tapos nira natin siya sa R. So yung name ng variable na ginamit ko is heights. Tapos ito yung plant heights ng 12 na corn plants. So gumamit ako ng C function kasi ang data natin ay naka-vector. So ang unang step sa pagkakandak ng hypothesis testing i-state ang null and alternative hypothesis and i-identify kung alin doon sa null at alternative hypothesis ang ating claim. So ito yung itsura ng ating null hypothesis based on the problem. Kasi ang problem natin is yung researcher, ang claim niya is yung average height ng certain variety of corn is 200 centimeter. So para i-test yung claim na yon, kumuha siya ng random sample ng 12 corn plants. Ito yung data, and using this data set ng 12 corn plants, titingnan natin kung tama ba yung claim ng researcher or hindi, using 5% level of significance. So kapag isusulat natin yung is 200. So, ang HO natin is equal at yun din yung ating claim. At dahil ang HO natin ay equal, so ang HA natin ay not equal. So, yan ang ating first step. Kasi once na mali ka dito sa step 1 na to, so maaapektuhan yung susunod na mga steps. Ang step 2, i-identify yung proper na test na gagamitin, tapos yung tailed ng distribution at saka yung level of significance. So unang nating titingnan, ano yung tailed ng test? So saan ba tayo nagbabase ng tailed ng test? Di ba doon sa alternative hypothesis? Since ang alternative hypothesis natin is not equal, kaya therefore, ang tailed ng distribution natin ay two-tailed test. Diba, diniscuss natin yan sa basic concepts ng hypothesis testing. Kapag ang HA is not equal, ang tawag doon ay two-tailed test. Kapag less than, left-tailed test. Kapag greater than, right-tailed test. Sa R kasi meron tayong ina-add na arguments inside the function. At kapag ka-two-tailed yung test, ito yung i-add nating arguments inside the function ng t-test. Ilalagay natin two-sided. Kapag less than, less. Kapag greater than, greater. Kaya importante siya na ma-identify properly. Next is yung level of significance. So ang alpha na pinapagamit sa atin is 0.05. So now, ano yung appropriate test na gagamitin natin? So kailangan natin munang tingnan yung assumption. So una, nag-random sample naman siya. Now tingnan, yung data naman natin is nasa interval or ratio scale level. So now tingnan natin kung na-violate niya ba yung assumption ng normality. So ito yung ginawa natin. Una, gumawa tayo ng histogram. So ito yung histogram niya. So based on the histogram, mukha naman siyang normal. Pasok naman sa normal curve yung most of the data, though merong mga outside the curve and that are suspected outliers. Next, nag-create tayo ng QQ plot. So based on the QQ plot, parang normal naman din. But aside from that, nag-perform tayo ng formal test for normality using Shapiro. So ang ginamit nating function is Shapiro.test and then yung variable na height. So ito yung result niya. So take note na again, ang null hypothesis natin for Shapiro-Wilk test, the data is normally distributed. Tapos ang alternative hypothesis natin, the data is not normally distributed. At kapag p-value method yung gagamitin natin, i-reject natin si HO kapag yung p-value is less than or equal to alpha. At ang alpha natin is 0.05. So based on the result of our Shapiro-Wilk test, ang p-value natin is 0.92. So ibig sabihin, hindi siya less than 0.05. So ang decision natin is failed to reject HO. Kaya ang conclusion natin, yung data ay normally distributed. At since normally distributed yung data natin, we can proceed to one sample t-test. Actually, kapag na-violate yung assumptions na normality, pwede pa kayong mag-perform ng other techniques. Like, pwede kayong mag-transform ng data using square root, square, log, exponential, and etc. Tapos, repeat nyo yung pagpe-perform ng test for normality hanggang ma-achieve yung normality. Pero pag wala talaga, saka tayo magpo-proceed to non-parametric test. Okay, next. So, okay na sa step 2, okay na na-identify na natin yung test. So, appropriate ang one sample t-test. Yung tilde ng distribution ay 2 tilde. Tapos, yung level of significance is 0.05. Now, let's proceed to step 3. Ang step 3 is i-formulate ang decision rule. May dalawa akong method na ginamit. Using the traditional method, sa traditional method, nagbe-base siya gumagamit siya nitong nasa table na pinakita ko kanina, yung decision rule table natin na nakabase sa alternative hypothesis. Na kapag ang alternative hypothesis natin is not equal, ito ang decision rule. I-reject si HO if yung absolute value ng t-computed or test statistic value is greater than or equal to this value. Again, ang tawag sa value na to ay critical value. Ito actually kinukuha to sa t-table, but pwede rin naman natin siyang kuhain sa R kung wala kayong t-table. So dito natin siya kinuha. Again, nakabase ito sa alternative hypothesis. Ito yung HA natin, kaya ito yung ating decision rule. So now, paano siya kuhain sa R? Ang ginamit nating function sa R sa pagkuha ng critical value is itong QT function. So if yung level of significance mo is 0.05, tapos yung test mo ay 2 tilde, then each tail has alpha over 2. Kasi ang itsura ng normal curve nun meron dalawang sa gilid na rejection region. Kaya alpha over 2. So alpha over 2 sa 0.05 over 2, so 0.025. Kaya ito ay naging 0.975. Tapos yung DF natin is 12 minus 2. Then run. So ang critical value natin is 2.200985. So ibig sabihin, ang buong decision rule natin using test statistic ay reject HO if yung absolute value ng T computed is greater than or equal to 2.200985. Okay, next. Using phi value, default lang ito na decision rule. Iisa lang ang decision rule kapag gumamit ka ng p value. Reject HO if yung p value is less than or equal to alpha. So in this case, since ang alpha natin is 0.05, so ito yung decision rule natin. Reject HO if yung absolute value is less than or equal to 0.05. Okay, now next is kukumputin na natin yung test statistic at saka p-value. So ang ginagamit natin na function sa pag-perform ng t-test sa R is itong t.test function. So ito yung general na form ng t-test na function. So t.test, tapos meron kang x. Yung x, ito yung numeric vector ng sample data natin, which is yung kanina, yung height. Yung mu, ito yung hypothesized mean. Ito yung nasa claim or nasa hypothesis natin. And then yung alternative naman, ito yung test statistic to use. Inay sa step 2 kanina, yung two-sided at nakabase sa alternative hypothesis. Tapos yung confidence level, ang default ay 0.95. Again, kapag hindi ka naglagay ng value ng mu, ang default na gagamitin ni R is 0. Tapos sa alternative naman, pag di ka naglagay, ang default na gagamitin niya is two-sided. Pero kapag ang alternative hypothesis nyo ay less than, so less ang isusulat nyo sa, ilalagay nyo sa R. And then pag greater than, ito naman greater. Don't forget na lagyan ng quotation mark. Tapos sa confidence level, again, ang default niya is 0.95. So applying our dataset, so again, ito yung dataset natin, heights. Tapos, and ang mu is 200, alternative is two-sided, confidence level is 0.95. So ito ang kanyang result. So ano ba itong mga value na to na nilabas ni R? Yung nasa baba, itong mean of X, ito yung mean heights ng plants. So 201.33 centimeter. Tapos ito naman yung 95% confidence interval ng mean height of plants. Ibig sabihin nagfo-fall siya in between 199.53 cm at 203.13 cm. Actually, ginawa rin natin to manually before or using different function. So now, nilalabas na ng one sample t-test pati ang confidence interval. And then, ito ang test statistic value or ito yung t computed at ito yung p value. Okay, so ngayon, ano yung decision natin? Reject or failed to reject HO. So, ito yung test statistic, ito yung p-value. So now, ang step 5 natin is gumawa ng decision whether to reject or not to reject the null hypothesis. So using traditional method, since yung test is yung t-computed natin na 1.62668 less than siya sa 2.200985, kaya ang decision natin ay failed to reject HO. Nagko-coincide naman siya sa result using p-value dahil ang p-value natin ay, ano na ulit yung p-value? 0.132. So siya ay hindi less than sa alpha natin na 0.05 kaya failed to reject talaga yung HO. So for interpretation, so ito yung buong interpretation. So we can conclude that there is no enough evidence to reject the claim that the average height of certain variety of corn is 200 centimeters. So ibig sabihin, yung claim ng researcher is true. So yun yung buong detailed na pagkakasunod-sunod ng hypothesis testing na procedure. Kasi pag pinagawa ko kayo ng activity and event sa exam, kailangan kompleto itong 6 steps nito. So ito yung example 2 ko. So an environmental scientist wants to determine if the mean lead concentration in a lake exceeds the safe limit of 15 parts per billion. So a random sample of 10 water samples yielded the following concentrations. So now gagamitin natin tong 10 data na to test yung claim na nag-exceed siya ng 15 parts per billion. So ganito ko in-enter yung data sa R. Tapos ito yung null and alternative hypothesis. Actually dapat ito ay less than or equal. Pero pwede rin naman equal na lang din. So ang claim natin is nasa alternative hypothesis. Mu is greater than 15. So since ang alternative hypothesis natin is greater than, therefore until ng distribution na gagamitin natin ay right-tailed test. Or sa R, ang gagamitin natin is yung greater. And then ang level of significance is 0.05. So now let's evaluate the normality of the data para malaman kung ano yung appropriate test to use. So ito yung kanyang histogram at QQ plot. Based on the histogram, it clearly shows na yung data natin is not normally distributed. And based on the test for normality, it supports the results of the graph na ang p-value is 0.02. So, reject yung HO natin. Therefore, the data is not normally distributed. So, in this case, we can then explore its non-parametric counterpart, which is ang ginamit ko ay Wilcox test din. Pero ang isang alternative dyan is si sign test. Kaso nga lang, mas powerful ang results ni Wilcoxon. Kaya yun yung ginamit natin. So sa Wilcoxon, ang ginamit naman nating function ay itong Wilcox.test. So ito yung general form naman ng formula ni Wilcoxon test. So, kailangan natin ng X. And then, kapag one sample siya, null lang yung ilalagay natin sa Y. Or kahit wala. Kapag one sample lang siya. And then, alternative, mu. Kapag one sample t-test, lalagyan nyo to ng value. Pero kapag two samples t-test, wala. Paired, ito ginagamit kapag nandun tayo sa in the paired two samples test, and then ito yung other arguments. Pero kahit default lang yung value pwede. Aside from the confidence level na pwede yung i-enhance, depende sa kung anong gamitin na pa. So, balikan natin yung example number 2. So, ito yung pangalan ng variables na nilagay ko sa R. So, LED_PPB. Then, ito yung Wilcox.test na function ko. So, yung LED, ito yung mu, and then alternative. So, ito yung result niya. So, ang p-value ni Wilcoxon test is 0.004883. So, based on the result, so since itong p-value natin na 0.004883, less than siya sa alpha natin na 0.05, kaya ang decision natin is to reject HO. So, ibig sabihin, we have enough evidence to support yung claim na yung mean lead concentration ng lake exceeds 15 parts per billion. Okay, so, ayun yung one sample test natin using parametric and non-parametric test. Now, let's proceed to hypothesis testing for two populations. Wait lang, may nag-a-add yata sa class. So, yung hypothesis testing for two population, ginagamit siya to compare two sample means using like experimental and control groups. So, ang main interest dito is tingnan kung merong significant difference yung dalawang populations. O kaya naman kung titingnan kung mas mataas ba yung isang group over yung isang group or mas mababa. So, pero ang pinaka-main naman sa research, parang never pa naman ako nakakita ng ang claim ay mas mataas yung isang group. Palaging ang tinitingnan nila is kung may significant difference yung dalawang groups. So, mga example niya, average lifetime of two different brands of bus tires might be compared to see whether there is any difference sa treadwear, or yung two different brands ng fertilizer might be tested to see whether one is better than the other for growing plants. O kaya naman yung two brands ng Cap Zero might be tested to see whether yung one brand is more effective than the other. So sa pagtitest ng two samples, meron tayong dalawang pwedeng i-consider. So pwedeng yung dalawang samples natin ay independent o kaya naman ay dependent. So two samples are independent if yung sample values selected from one population ay hindi related or somehow paired or matched with sample values selected from the other population. Kapag naman dependent, meron some relationship na nag-e-exist doon sa paired samples or matched samples natin. O kaya naman pag sinabing independent, two different sets of samples yung gagamitin. Kapag dependent, isa lang, tas ia-apply mo yung dalawang treatments. Like for example, gusto mong i-test yung effectivity ng dalawang brand ng papaya soap. So meron kang brand X at saka brand Y. Kapag sinabing independent yung samples, meron kang samples na gagamit ng brand X tapos brand Y. Kapag dependent naman, isa lang yung samples mo, tapos parehong samples gagamit ng brand X and brand Y. Like for example, yung half face niya gagamit ng brand X, yung half face gagamit ng brand Y, and then after 2 weeks, titingnan yung effect. So yun yung difference nila. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo mamaya kapag tiningnan natin yung degrees of freedom nitong dalawang test na to, kapag independent samples, N-2 ang degrees of freedom. Kasi meron kang dalawang groups. Kapag dependent samples, N-1 lang ang degrees of freedom. Kasi isa lang yung samples. So let's start first dito sa independent samples test. So, yung test na to again, ginagamit to see the difference between means when two samples are independent. Or samples are independent, again, if yung sample selected from one population it will not be affected from kapag nag-select ka ng another population. Kagaya nito, magkahiwalay. Tapos ito yung goal natin. So, tingnan kung may significant difference yung two groups. Or mas mataas ba yung isang group kaysa sa isa? Or mas mababa ba yung isa sa isang group? So, sa manual computation, baka nung BS kayo, ito yung ginamit nyo na formula. Ito yung null hypothesis. So, mu1 is equal to mu2. Or mu1 is less than or equal to mu2, or mu1 is greater than or equal to mu2. Pwede rin siyang ganitong form. Mu1 minus mu2 is equals to 0. Pero ito yung mas usual na ginagamit. And then kapag equality yung HO, ito yung alternative na hypothesis. Tapos ito yung kanyang decision rule. So gagamit pa rin tayo ng t-distribution dito or t-table. Pero kung mapapansin nyo, dahil dalawang samples nga yung ginagamit sa independent samples t-test, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na dalawa yung ima-minus nyo sa degrees of freedom. And my N1 plus N2 minus 2 because of the two samples. And then, kapag ang HA mo is mu1 is greater than mu2, kapag ang HA mo is greater than, ito naman yung decision rule, and kapag decision rule. Ito yung mahabang computation ng test statistic before. Yung gagamit ka ng pooled variance, then ito yung fold variance, ito yung mga samples, ito yung X-bar ng group 1, group 2, tapos ito yung population mean ng group 1 and then group 2. But now, hindi na tayo magma-manual computation using R na tayo. So ito yung important na assumptions ni independent samples t-test. Una is independence. Or dapat yung observations in each group must be independent of each other. Pangalawa, normality. Dapat yung data sa kada group must be approximately normally distributed. And then dapat equal yung variance or homogeneity of variance. So, itong homogeneity of variance, ang ginagamit natin dito na pang test ay yung Levene's test or F-test. So, dapat yung variances ng dalawang groups ay approximately equal. And then yung scale of measurement should be in interval or ratio level. So, yan, yung 4 na important assumptions. Ang nadagdag lang dahil 2 samples, itong homogeneity of variance. So I have here this example. So researchers want to determine if there is a significant difference in dissolved oxygen level between 2 different fish ponds. So one with aeration and one without. So ito yung sample data. So ito yung with aeration, tapos ito yung without aeration. So now, tingnan natin kung merong significant difference sa dissolved oxygen itong dalawang groups na to. Okay, so punta tayo sa R. Nakikita niyo ba yung R ko? Or kailangan ko to i-escape? Ayan. Yung R na yung nakikita nyo. Okay, so input natin yung data. So copy ko lang. I-send ko lang yung codes. So ito ay 2 independent samples t-test. So ang data natin is yung with aeration. Wait lang, clear ko lang ang aking environment. Tapos yung data natin. Okay, next is yung without aeration. So 5.9. And then run. So now, i-check natin yung normality nitong ating dalawang groups. So let's start with creating histogram doon sa with aeration. So copy lang natin tong data. Histogram of with aeration. Ano na yung data na to? DO. DO with aeration. Tapos DO. So, yan ang itsura ng kanyang histogram. Lagyan natin ng curve para mas madaling i-assess kung siya ay approximately normal. So, based on the graph, so mukha naman siyang approximately normally distributed. Now, let's try Qplot. So, with aeration, so yan ang ating Qplot. Yan. Mukha rin siyang approximately normal. Pero para mas matest natin, gamit tayo ng Shapiro. That text. Then, yung data. Okay, so based on our Shapiro-Wilk test, so ang p-value natin is 0.9929. So ibig sabihin yung data natin is normally distributed dito sa ating group na with aeration. So ito ay test for normality dun sa with aeration. So i-try naman natin dun sa without aeration. Copy ko na lang yan para mas madali. Tapos without naman tayo. Palitan ko lang lahat to ng without. Pwede niyong shortcutin. Pero ganyan na lang ako. So mukha rin siyang approximately normal. So ito ang Qplot. So yun, approximately normally distributed naman siya. Then ang Shapiro niya, ang p-value din ay 0.9493. So failed to reject HO. So therefore we can conclude na yung data natin for with aeration and without aeration ay normally distributed. So we can proceed to independent samples t-test. So hindi pa pala, meron pa palang isang assumption. Ang isang assumption na nadadagdag is yung test for equality. Equality of variance. So ang gagamitin natin sa pagtitest ng equality of variance ay yung Levene's test. So paano mag-perform ng Levene's test? So kailangan nyo ng library, di pa yata natin ito na-explore, no? Yung pag-install ng package. So, kailangan nyo ng library car. So, paano kayo magkakaroon ng car na package sa inyong R. So, i-copy nyo yung car. Tapos, punta kayo dito sa may packages. Tapos, install. Tapos, dito sa packages, pindutin nyo car. Tapos, click nyo yan. And then, install. Naka-install na siya sa akin, pero pwede ko siya daw i-update. Ayan. So, pag ganyan na, nag-i-install na siya sa aking R. Kailangan nga lang ng internet connection. Tapos, makikita nyo kung successful na yung pag-i-install kapag nandito na siya sa packages. Hanapin nyo si car. So, eto na siya. Then, click nyo tong library car. And then, kaso kailangan muna natin gawin itong data frame, itong data natin. Paano natin siya gagawing isang data frame? So, pag-isahin natin yung data, pangalanan ko siya ng DO levels. So, ang DO levels, copy ko lang to. Yan. Tapos, enter na lang ako para clear na yung second row is with and without. Tapos, gagawa rin ako ng group or DO group. So, dapat kung ano yung data na to, yun yung ilalagay nyo na group niya. So, anong shortcut ang ilalagay ko? At saka dahil categorical siya, enclose nyo siya quotation mark. Sa with, so W ang gagamitin ko. So, ilang W yan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, 7 ganito ang ilalagay ko. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tapos, 7 without. Ang without na lang, WO. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then run. And then, ilagay natin siya sa isang data frame na ang pangalan, ang lagay kong pangalan ay data.do levels. Tapos, ang gagamiting function para makakreate ng data frame ay data.frame. Tapos, yung pangalan ng dalawang variables na ilalagay mo sa isang data frame. Ayan. Tapos, pwede natin siyang i-view. View, ito. So, tama naman. With, without. So, kasi ganitong ganitong kailangan nating data para makapag-run tayo ng Levene's test. So, balik ako sa Levene's. So, ang function na gagamitan natin ay Levene's.test. Ilagay ko na lang pala dito yung codes. Baka hindi nyo na makita yung pinagagawa ko. Dito na lang. Dahil dito ko naman siya ginamit. Yan. So, Levene's.test. So, DO levels. Then, itilde nyo siya by group. And then, yung pangalan ng data. Ito yung pangalan ng data.do levels. Run. Error. Wrong. So, ang function dahil car yung ginamit ko ay Levene test. So, ito siya. Nakuha? Nakuha ba? So, ang hypothesis natin for Levene's test, ang HOI equal yung variance, tapos ang HA ay different yung variance. So, since ang p-value natin is 0.3238, so ibig sabihin, failed to reject yung HO. So, ibig sabihin, equal yung variance. Hindi natin na-violate yung assumption ng homogeneity of variance. So we can proceed na talaga sa two independent samples t-test. So let's proceed to independent samples t-test. So ang gagamitin nating function ay t-test ng DO levels. So, ang gagamitin nating function is t.test. Tapos, ano na yung una natin ilalagay? So, DO levels. So, tilde group. DO group. And then, data. Ang data natin, ang pangalan is data, .do levels. And then, yung variance ba ay equal? Yes, di ba? Based sa result ng Levene's test. Ang alternative, ano yung alternative natin? Tinitingnan lang naman natin kung may significant difference o wala. So, yan ay two-sided. Again, ito ay based on the results of Levene's test. Kasi kapag based dun sa results ng Levene's test, hindi equal yung variance, edi isi-set nyo lang to na false. So anong ibig sabihin nun? Kapag hindi na-violate yung assumption ng normality at ang na-violate lang ay yung homogeneity of variance, pwede natin siyang i-adjust using this argument. We can still proceed on performing t-test, just adjust yung sa may variance that equal. Pero kapag ang na-violate ay normality, wala. Agawan natin yun ng paraan, magta-transform, or gagamit ng non-parametric test. Ang isa pang pwede niyong itanong, paano kapag yung isang group lang yung normal, tas yung isa not normal? Hindi pwede. Dapat both groups ay approximately normally distributed. Okay, then run. Baka nalilito rin kayo kasi hina-highlight ko lang to para makita kung yung full na results. Pwede nyo rin gamitan yan ng function. Para makita yung result, pwede kayong gumamit ng print. And then kung anong result yung gusto nyong i-print. So ito yung gusto kong i-print. Then run. So ito yung kanyang result ng one samples na independent samples t-test. So based on the result, reject or failed to reject HO. Para makapag-perform tayo ng traditional method, kunin na rin natin ang critical value. #critical value. Again, ang ginagamit natin ay Qt. Bakit 12? So, ang formula natin ay 1 minus alpha over 2 Ang alpha natin ay 0.05 over 2. And then, degrees of freedom, N1 plus N2, 7 plus 7 minus 2. So, ang critical value is 2.178813. So, ano ang ating decision? Reject or failed to reject HO? Nagre-react ba? Check ko. Pwede nyo ilagay sa comment or mag-open ng mic. So, balik ako dito. So, ito yung mga pinagagawa natin. So, siya ay wrong to Normal yan. Tapos, chinek yung Leibniz test. So, equal. Ito yung results ng t-test. Then, ito yung pagkuha ng critical value. Okay, so using traditional method, again, ang HO natin is isusulat natin ng ganito. Mu1 is equals to mu2, ibig sabihin walang significant difference. Versus HA mu1 is not equal to mu2, so ibig sabihin, merong significant difference in dalawang groups. So, t-test ang gagamitin natin for independent samples, tapos ang alpha natin ay 0.05, may kulang pa dito. Untailed ng distribution ay two-tailed test dahil ito ay not equal. Tapos ito yung decision rule natin, i-reject si HO kapag yung absolute value ng T computed is greater than or equal to the critical value. And based on the results of R, ang critical value natin is 2.178813. And then also based on the results of R, ang T computed natin ay 6.8237. So, ibig sabihin, mas mataas siya, di ba? Mas mataas siya dito sa ating critical value na 2.17. Kaya ang decision natin ay reject HO. So, ibig sabihin, we can conclude na there is significant difference doon sa dissolved oxygen level between the two different fish ponds, yung with and without iteration. Kapag magbe-base naman tayo using p-value method, so same alternative, null and alternative hypothesis, test to use, mababago lang dito sa decision rule, less than or equal to. Reject HO if yung p-value is less than or equal to 0.005. Ang itsura ng p-value is ganito siya. Ganito, naka-scientific notation. Mali pala yung pagkakasulat ko. So, di ba ito, kung sa scientific notation, ito ay 0.0018. So, ibig sabihin, mas mababa siya sa alpha natin na 0.05. So, reject talaga si HO. So, ibig sabihin, may significant difference sa dissolved oxygen level between the two different fish ponds, yung with and without iteration, using p-value and traditional method. Okay, so another example. So dito naman, yung researcher claims yan or aims to compare whether there is significant difference in the daily growth rate of juvenile fish fed with feed A and feed B using a small dataset. So ito yung feed A na dataset. Tapos ito yung dataset natin for feed B. Okay, so let's try to run this in R. So ito ay example 1. Okay, so example 2. Tayo. So ang data natin, feed A. So 1.2, 1.5, 1.3. So sa feed B, ang data natin, 0.9. 0.9. 1.0, 1.1, 0.8, saka 5.2. Or gawa na ako ng naka-group. So, pwede ko siyang pangalanan ng growth. Fish. Growth. Tapos ilagay natin tong dalawang dataset. Then ito. Tapos, gawa tayo ng group. So, fish dot group. So, itong group na to, yung nasa taas is puro A. Ilan ang dataset? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 A. 2, 3, 4, 5. Tapos, 5 B. 1, 2, 3. Yan. So, run. Tapos, gawa tayo ng data frame. Ang pangalan natin, ipangalan natin ay data dot fish growth. So, ang lalagay natin sa data frame ay itong fish growth na data at saka yung group niya. Oops, data.frame pala. View natin. So, tama naman. 5 data A and B. Okay, so ano ulit ang first step? So, gawa tayo ng histogram. Ito. Copy, paste lang. Tapos per normality for feed A. So, ang data natin dito yung feed para mas madali. Ito. Yung una kong in-encode. Histogram of fish growth. Under growth under feed A. So, growth tayo dito. Let's try. So, ganyan ang histogram niya. Obviously, skewed siya. So, let's try na lagyan pa rin ng normal curve. So, mukhang violated ang assumption ng normality. based on the histogram. Let's try QQ-plot. Oh. Well scattered ang data, may isang extreme na outlier. So for formal test, from tayo ng Shapiro. So based on the Shapiro-Wilk test, so na-violate talaga ang normality for our first dataset, yung sa feed A. So itry din natin siya sa feed B. So copy-paste lang natin to. For feed B. So lahat ng A, papalitan nyo lang ng B. Palitan ko na lahat para run na lang ng run. So, mukha rin siyang violated ang normality. Almost the same sila ng distribution. So, ang p-value ng ating feed A is 0.004. So, reject yung HO. So, ibig sabihin, hindi normally distributed ang ating dataset for feed A. Same as true with feed B, ang p-value ay less than 0.005. So, violated din ang assumption. Next, let's test yung homogeneity of variance using Levin's test. Okay. So, burahin ko na to. So, ang Y natin dito is yung continuous, itong fish growth. Tapos, ang X ay yung categorical, itong group. Then, ang data natin is yung data ng fish growth. So, kahit hindi nyo na i-run to, kasi once na na-run nyo na yan before, automatic na yan. Pero kunyari, inopen nyo ulit yung R nyo, i-run nyo ulit lahat ng library para sure. And based on the Levin's test, so hindi natin na-violate yung assumption ng homogeneity of variance kasi p-value natin for homogeneity of variance is 0.7925. So, ibig sabihin, equal yung variance niya. So, ang na-violate lang natin is normality. Pero kahit ganun pa man, kailangan natin gawa ng solusyon. So, mag-transform. Pag wala talaga, gagamit tayo ng non-parametric na counterpart. So, ang non-parametric counterpart naman ng independent samples t-test is yung Mann-Whitney-U test or si Wilcoxon rank sum test. So, ang function na gagamitan natin sa Wilcoxon, so, ang Wilcoxon ginagamit din to determine whether there is significant difference between the distribution ng two samples or two independent samples. Again, alternative siya ng two samples independent t-test kapag yung assumptions ng normality ay hindi na-met. So, ang assumptions lang niya, dapat yung data ay ordinal or continuous, but not normally distributed. Dapat independent yung groups. Tapos dapat, ang tinetest mo is kung merong significant difference yung dalawang groups. So, ang function na gagamitan pa rin natin sa pag-perform ng Wilcoxon rank sum test ay Wilcox test pa din, kagaya nung ginamit natin sa one sample t-test. Tapos, ika-copy paste nyo lang itong ginamit natin sa Levene's test. Yan lang ang kailangan natin. O kaya naman, dalawang way yan. Pwedeng Wilcox test, Wilcox test, tapos yung x data natin for x variable, itong feed A, then feed B, tapos yung variance dot equals true. So, parehas lang. Ano pa ba pwedeng i-add? Yung kagaya yung kanina, copy-paste ko lang yun. Ito. So, x and y. So, ito yung x, feed A. Y, meron siyang y kasi 2 samples. Ang alternative natin ay two-sided kasi not equal ang each A. Mu is equals to 0 kasi wala siyang hypothesized mean difference. Pero kung sa literature, meron siyang hypothesized mean difference, pwede nyo dyan ilagay. Paired ba siya? So, hindi. Kaya ang ilalagay ay false. Tapos, ito. Tapos, pwede nyo i-add itong var equal inside pa. Ito, wag na lang to. Ipalit na lang natin is var equal. So, ito ang result ng Wilcoxon rank sum test. So, based on the result, ano ang ating decision? Reject or failed to reject HO. Repares naman yung result niyan kahit 3 beses natin siyang niran sa iba't ibang way. Ang p-value natin is 0.0952. So, ano ang ating decision? Di ba ang HO natin, kung may walang significant difference, HA natin may significant difference. Sa test to use, hindi na appropriate si independent samples t-test kasi na-violate yung assumption ng normality. Pero two-tailed test pa rin siya kasi ang HA natin ay not equal, tapos ang alpha natin ay 0.05. And then using p-value method, ang decision rule natin is i-reject sa HO kapag yung p-value ay less than alpha. Ang alpha natin ay 0.05. So, ibig sabihin, since ang p-value natin is 0.09524, hindi siya less than sa alpha natin na 0.05. So, ang decision natin ay failed to reject HO. So, ibig sabihin, I can conclude that there is no significant difference in the daily growth rates of juvenile fish fed with feed A and feed B. Wala siyang significant difference. Yun lang. So, yan ang ating mga process na kailangang gawin sa pagpe-perform ng 2 samples na independent. Okay, next. Dami naka-open. Okay pa ba? Nasusundan pa? 2 test pa lang. Okay, so next, let's proceed to paired samples t-test. So again, ang paired samples t-test, ginagamit din sa pag-evaluate kung may significant difference yung means ng two samples. Pero yung two samples na yan dependent, related sila sa isa't isa. Tinatawag din siyang paired samples t-test or match samples or dependent samples t-test. So ganito yung design niya. Ang usual na design ng paired samples t-test, ito yung i-measure mo ulit yung object after some period of time, like before and after. For example, nagda-diet ka. So after 6 months, yung before weight mo, i-measure mo, and then after 6 months, i-measure, and then titingnan kung may significant difference sa weight before and after mag-diet. So ang goal is tingnan kung merong significant effect or significant difference. So para siyang repeated measure, kaso 2 samples lang or twice lang siyang nangyari. So ito yung ating formula kapag mano-manong computation. So ang HOHA natin same lang. Ito yung decision rule natin kapag not equal. Ito naman kapag greater than. Tapos ito naman kapag less than. And then ito yung test statistic natin. So kung mapapansin nyo may mga D. Ano ba yan D na yan? Kasi dito sa paired samples t-test, ang focus natin is yung difference. Actually, pag nag-test tayo ng normality and homogeneity of variance, nakapokus tayo doon sa difference ng data, not on the true data, the original data, kundi doon sa difference ng dataset. So yung diver na to, ito yung mean difference, and then yung ST is yung standard deviation ng difference. So again, nakapokus tayo sa difference ni X1 and X2. So ito ang assumptions ng independent samples t-test. Again, dapat yung data natin ay paired observation. And then, in terms of normality, again, ang focus natin na i-test for normality is yung difference between the paired observation. And then dapat random samples or paired samples should be randomly selected from the population. And then yung scale or level of measurement niya, interval or ratio level. So yun lang, yung apat na yun. So for example, number 1. So a researchers want to determine if there is a significant difference in plant height before and after applying a new fertilizer. So the same plants are measured twice. So ito yung samples or paired samples. So balik tayo sa R. Ano na tayo? Paired samples t-test. Example 1. So, ang data natin ay before na lang. Before height. Height before. Height before. So, 12.4. And then height after. So, run. Then, kunin natin yung difference. So, difference ni before, after, and then before. So, ito lang. Ito, height after minus itong mathematical operations natin for minus lang din. Then, oops, nag-run. Check natin. Ito lang highlight nyo, i-check natin yung difference. So, ang difference nito, 0.2, tama naman. Negative 0.1, 0.4, 0.3, 0.8, negative 0.2, 0, and negative 0.3. So, tama naman. Okay, next. Test tayo ng normality again. Copy ko na lang to. So, for normality, papalitan lang natin ng difference itong mga dataset. Ito, histogram of difference. Okay na muna yun. So, let's try. Oh, so ganito ang histogram niya. Mukhang okay naman. Lagyan natin ng curve. Mukha naman siyang approximately normally distributed. Meron lang mga suspected outliers. Sa QQ plot, so ito lang. Ito, then QQ plot of difference. Kayo na lang mag-ayos ng title nung sa inyo ayusin ko rin yung codes bago ko i-send sa inyo. So, ito yung kanyang QQ plot. Then, lagyan natin ng line. Mukha rin siyang approximately normally distributed. And then, formal test tayo using Shapiro. So, ang p-value ay 0.7611. So, ibig sabihin, failed to reject HO. So, ang data natin ay normally distributed. So, again, ang HA natin dito is gusto nating makita kung merong significant difference yung height before and after. So, HO mu is equals to mu1. HA mu 1 is not equal to mu 2. So, ang test to use, pwede tayong mag-proceed kay paired samples t-test kasi hindi na-violate ang assumption ng normality. Walang homogeneity of variance dito kasi isa lang yung samples na tinitest. Tapos, ang tailed ng distribution ay two-tailed dahil ang HA natin ay not equal. Tapos, alpha is 0.05. Now, let's proceed to paired. Paired samples t-test. So, paired t-test ng, ano ba to? Height. So, t.test, ang data natin ay yung before. Ito yung x natin. Then y is yung after. Ano pa yung mga argument na kailangan natin? Alternative. Ang alternative natin again ay two-sided. Ano pa? mu or hypothesized mean difference. Wala naman binanggit sa problem na ang hypothesized mean difference ng height before and after is ganitong point. So pag wala, lagay niya 0. And then paired ba siya? Paired ba siya? So, di ba, gagamit tayo ng paired samples t-test. So, ilalagay nyo dyan, true. Ano pa? Then, confidence level. So, equal sa 0.95. So, run. Paired. Ano yun? T not found. Saan yun? Ano baka ina-assign ko yun? Ayun, bawal ang dash, underscore lang. Nagkamali ako sa pag-name. And kung mapapansin nyo kanina, kaya yun nag-error kasi dash yung nagamit ko. Dapat underscore or dot lang. Then print natin yung result. Ayan. So ito yung kanyang result. So ito yung mean difference, negative 0.1375. Tapos, ito yung 95% confidence interval ng mean difference between negative 0.44 siya up to 0.17. Ito yung t-computed, negative 1.0735. Kaso kailangan natin ng critical value para magamit yan. Tapos, ang p-value natin is 0.3187. So, para magamit natin yung t-computed, kuha tayo ng critical value. So, ang critical value is again QT 1, two-sided siya. So, 1 minus 0.05 over 2. Tapos, ang degrees of freedom is n minus 1. So, ilan yung samples? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, 8 minus 1. 1 degrees of freedom lang again kapag paired t-test kasi isang sample lang naman siya unlike independent. So, 2.34. May nagtatype. 2.344624. Tapos, ang t-computed is negative 1.0735. So, ano ang decision? Reject or failed to reject HO. So, ito bang negative 1.07? Mas mataas dito? Hindi, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, failed to reject yung HO. Kapag magbe-base naman tayo dito sa p-value, ang p-value natin is 0.3187. So, again, hindi siya mas mababa sa level of significance natin na 0.05, kaya failed to reject talaga yung HO. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan, we can conclude na there is no significant difference sa plant height before and after applying the new fertilizer. So, wala siyang significant difference. Okay, next example tayo. So, ito yung next example. So, a researcher wants to determine, or researchers want to determine if there is significant difference in the weight of tilapia before and after a month of feeding with a new experimental diet. So, ito yung data natin before the diet. Tapos, ito yung data after the diet. So, let's perform paired samples t-test. So, example 2. So, weight naman tayo. Weight ng tilapia before. So, 150, 160. Ilan yan? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then weight that after the diet. 172. 166, 850, 160, and 162. So, run and then kunin yung difference that weight. Ito. So, weight after minus weight before. So, ito ang difference sa weight. Now, i-test natin for normality. Yan. So, palitan lang natin ng data nitong difference weight. Ayan. Let's try. Oh, so skewed ang ating curve. Yan. So, for QQ plot, so mukhang hindi rin siya nagfa-follow ng normal distribution. And then for Shapiro, for formal test. So, ang p-value natin is 0.0000847. So, ibig sabihin, mas mababa siya sa alpha na 0.05. So, fail to reject yung HO. So, ibig sabihin, ang data natin ay hindi normal. So, proceed tayo sa non-parametric na counterpart niya. Ang non-parametric na counterpart naman nitong si paired samples t-test ay si Wilcoxon signed rank test. So, ginagamit din siya to compare yung two related groups when the data do not meet the assumption of the paired t-test such as normality. So, it is often used when the differences between pairs are not normally distributed. So again, ang kailangan nyo lang yung data dapat paired siya or match. Tapos not necessarily na hindi kailangan na yung data, yung differences ng pairs ay normally distributed. At ang goal nyo is i-test kung may significant difference. So, ang function lang, kagaya lang yung ginamit natin kanina. Hashtag Wilcoxon signed rank test. So, Wilcox pa rin ang gagamitin natin na function. Wilcox.test. Tapos, ano mga kailangan inside. So, yung data natin. So, before. And then, after. Space. Tapos, alternative. Ano yung alternative? So, dahil tinetest lang naman natin kung may significant difference o wala, so two-sided. Ano pa? Mu. Copy ko na lang to. So, wala ring hypothesized mean difference. Paired is true. Dahil ito ay alternative ni paired sample t-test, tas ang confidence level ay 0.05. So, ang p-value natin ay 0.005729. So, ibig sabihin, mas mababa siya sa alpha natin na 0.05. So, ang decision natin ay failed to reject HO. Ano ba yung HO niyan? HO natin, mu1 is equals to mu2. So, ibig sabihin, walang significant difference yung weight ng fish before and after the diet. Ang HA natin is not equal. So, ibig sabihin, until na gagamitan natin is two-tailed test. So, based on the assumption checking, we cannot proceed to paired samples t-test kasi violated yung assumption na normality. Kaya we have to use its non-parametric counterpart, which is the Wilcoxon signed rank test. So using p-value method, ang decision rule natin again is to reject HO if yung p-value is less than or equal to alpha na 0.05. And based on the result, ang alpha natin is 0.005. So ibig sabihin, mas mababa siya sa alpha natin na 0.05. Kaya ang decision natin ay reject HO. So anong ibig sabihin nun? So we therefore conclude na there is significant difference sa weight ng tilapia before and after a month of feeding with a new experimental diet. So may significant effect yung new experimental diet. So yan ang hypothesis testing for two populations. So do you have any questions before we proceed to sa iba pang test? Tinry nyo bang mag-run dyan sa inyo? Wala naman kayo na encounter na problem or anything? Wala naman? All goods naman ba? So far? So, bali, 4 yung nadagdag. But basically, lang siya. Yung test for 2 samples na independent, tapos yung test for 2 samples na dependent. Pero parametric and non-parametric test. Para pag nagpe-perform kayo ng test, alam nyo na yung gagawin kapag na-violate yung assumption. Alam nyo na yung ipe-perform na non-parametric counterpart niya. Walang question so far. Okay, so let's proceed sa ANOVA or analysis of variance. Kung wala kayong question. So, ang analysis of variance or ANOVA, it allows you to compare the means of 3 or more independent samples. So, continuation lang to ng independent samples t-test. So, suitable siya when the values are drawn from a normal distribution at kapag yung variance is approximately the same in each group. So ang null hypothesis natin dito is yung mean for all groups is the same at yung alternative naman is yung mean is different for at least one pair of groups. So basically, ang HO natin walang significant difference among the groups and HA there is significant difference. Kaso kapag sa results natin later on, ang conclusion natin ay may significant difference, ang next step natin is hanapin kung anong pairs ang merong significant difference at wala. At yun yung post hoc or multiple comparison of means test. So, dito muna tayo sa pinakasimpleng design. So, one-way ANOVA. It is an extension of testing the difference between the two population means. So, ganito yung pagsusulat natin ng null and alternative hypothesis. For HO, mu1 is equals to mu2 up to kung ilang treatments yung itetest nyo. Versus alternative na at least two means are not equal. Ang assumptions, una, dapat yung samples must consist of independent observations. Then normality, dapat yung distribution ng residuals or differences between the observed and the predicted values should be approximately normally distributed within each group. And then homogeneity of variance, the variances of the groups being compared should be approximately equal. And then random dapat yung sampling or samples should be drawn from the population in a random manner. At dapat yung scales of measurement ay in interval or ratio level. So ito yung ANOVA table na nung BS kayo, baka mano-mano yung kinompute. So, ito yung kinokompleto natin na ANOVA table. So, yung first column is all about the source of variation. So, for one-way ANOVA or CRD design, yan yung treatment or between treatments. Tapos, error or within treatments, and then total. Then, ito yung degrees of freedom ng treatment, T-1. Number of treatments, -1. So, kung tatlo, ang degrees of freedom ay 2. And then for errors within treatment, degrees of freedom and -t. N is kung ilan yung total samples. So kung meron kang tatlong treatments na taglilima ng replicates, so meron kang 15 na sample size. And then ang degrees of freedom for total ay n-1. Then sum of squares, mean square, and then F value or F computed, and then F tab. Ito yung kinukuha naman sa F table. So ang decision rule natin using this table ay reject si HO if yung F computed ay greater than sa F tab value. Wait lang, ba't tumutunog siya? Yes. May question?
Excuse me po, ma'am. Ma'am, may slides po ba kayong pinipresent?
Ay, yes po.
Wala
Sorry.
po yata sa amin.
Sige.
Sige po. Thank you, ma'am.
Ayan. Ayan. So, ito yung ANOVA table. So, ito yung source of variation. Ito yung treatments and error, then total. Ito yung degrees of freedom ng treatment. So, T-1 for error, N-T, and then for total, N-1. Then, ito yung sum of squares, mean square, then F value, equal lang siya sa mean square ni total over mean square error, and then F tab, ito galing sa F table. So again, ang decision rule natin is reject si HO if yung F computed natin is greater than dito sa F tab value. Or dahil naka-software based naman tayo, so same decision rule kapag gagamit kayo ng p-value, reject HO if yung p-value is less than or equal to alpha. Pakita ko lang ulit yung itsura ng hypothesis. So ganito yung itsura ng hypothesis natin for one-way ANOVA. So ang HO natin, mu1 is equals to mu2 up to kung ilang treatments yung meron kayo. So again, kapag tatlo yung treatments, meron kang mu1 is equals to mu2 is equals to mu3. Versus HA na at least 2 means are not equal. So kapag at the end of the test, napatunayan mo na may significant difference among the treatments or at least 2 means are unequal, so hahanapin natin ngayon kung ano yung groups, yung or anong pairs of treatment yung may significant difference at wala gamit ang post hoc or multiple comparisons of means test. And again, ito yung assumptions. So independence, normality, homogeneity of variance, and random sampling. And scale of measurement in interval or ratio level. So I have here this example. So the data below shows the dried weight of 3 groups of 10 batches of plants, wherein each group of 10 batches receive different treatment. So determine whether there is significant difference in the mean plant growth measured by weight of batch between the 3 groups. So I have here the 3 groups. Ang 3 groups na yan ay itong control, and then treatment 1, and then treatment 2. So assume that the plant growth is normally distributed and the variance is the same for all the 3 treatments, and use 0.05 level of significance. So run natin siya using R. Copy ko na lang to para mabilis. So, tayo ay nasa one-way ANOVA na. So, example 1. So, ito yung data. So, ibig sabihin, pinangalanan ko ng plant height, yung ating data. So, itong first row na to, ito yung mga control group. So, 10 yan. 10. Tapos, itong second row ay yung data ng treatment 1. Tapos, yung third row is yung data ni treatment 2. So, run lang natin. Then, gagawa na tayo ng ANOVA for plant height. So sa ANOVA, ang function na gagamitan natin ay AOV. So AOV function, so uunahin nyo lang yung continuous, si plant height, tapos ititilde nyo siya doon sa ating qualitative or group. So yun lang yung kailangan basically. Then run. So, para makita nyo yung summary ng results, so, gamit lang tayo ng ANOVA, and then, itong name nung ANOVA natin, ANOVA plant height. So, yan ang ating results. So, ito na yung ANOVA table. So, ito yung ating source of variation for treatments, and then errors or residuals, degrees of freedom, sum of squared, mean squared, and then F value, and then ito yung P value. So based on the result, ano yung mako-conclude natin? Again, ang HO natin dyan, there is no significant difference sa plant height or plant growth between the three groups. So ang HA natin, at least three groups are unequal. So ang gagamitin natin dyan ay one-way ANOVA using alpha equals to 0.05. And dahil magbe-base lang tayo sa p-value, i-reject natin sa HO if yung p-value is less than alpha na 0.05. So ang p-value natin is 0.01. Di ba mas mababa siya sa alpha natin na 0.05. So ibig sabihin, ang decision natin ay reject HO. So ibig sabihin, we can conclude na there is significant difference in the mean plant height between the three groups. So ang tanong, anong mga pairs ang may significant difference at wala? So kapag ganyan yung results, so magpe-perform tayo ng post hoc test. So for today, ang i-explore lang muna natin is itong si Tukey's HSD. So si Tukey's HSD test. So sa pagpa-perform ng Tukey's, so ano lang, gagamitan tayo ng Tukey HSD function, tapos ang ilalagay sa loob ng parenthesis is yung name ng ating ANOVA na ginawa. So yung ANOVA.plant.height. And then run. So ito na yun. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung meron tayong tatlong treatments, so meron tayong ilang combination of treatments na i-compare. And then meron tayong control versus treatment 1, control versus treatment 2, tapos treatment 1 versus treatment 2. So meron tayong tatlo. At ito yung tatlo na yun. So ang nilalabas na results ni R yung difference, lower, and upper. At itong p-adjust, ito yung p-value. So ang ibig sabihin yan, itong si treatment 1 at si control, ang p-value niya is 0.39. So kung magtititest kayo, ang HO niyan, di ba? HO, mu1 is equals to mu2 versus HA, mu1 is not equals to mu2. So ibig sabihin, since ang p-value is 0.39, hindi siya less than sa 0.05, failed to reject HO. So ibig sabihin, treatment 1 is equals to control. Wala silang significant difference. Unlike itong, ang same as true with control versus treatment 2, ang p-value niya is 0.1979. So hindi siya less than 0.05. So ibig sabihin, failed to reject HO. Wala ding significant difference si control at saka si treatment 2. Unlike itong pag kinompare mo si treatment 2 at saka si treatment 1, ang p-value niya is 0.012, which is mas mababa sa alpha natin na 0.05. Therefore, we reject HO and we can conclude na there is significant difference between treatment 1 and treatment 2. So, ibig sabihin lang yan, among the three combinations of treatments, ang meron lang significant difference ay dito, between treatment 2 and treatment 1. So, ganyan ang gamit ng post hoc test or itong results ni, ganyan i-interpret ang results nitong si Tukey's HSD test. So, marami pang test, pero explore na lang natin siya sa mga susunod pa na example. So, do you have any question so far? Kaya pa o overloaded na? Overloaded na ulit? Sige. So, nakailan na ba tayo na test? So, medyo marami-rami na. medyo marami-rami na siguro naman, medyo nakaka-capture na yung mga nasa research nyo. So, i-extend pa natin yan sa two-way ANOVA and yung mga non-parametric na counterpart niya. And then, factorial design. And then, mag-discuss din ako ng repeated measure. I think one meeting pa, matatapos na yon. And then, exam na yung kasunod nun. Pero arrange muna natin yung schedule siguro. So, yan muna siguro for this meeting para maano nyo muna lahat ng mga analysis na diniscuss before we proceed sa medyo pa-advance na analysis. Or may question kayo na gustong itanong? Magpo-provide din pala ako ng activity. So, yung activity, ang coverage lang is confidence interval, 1 sample t-test at saka 2 samples. Wala muna yung ANOVA. Separate yun kapag na-discuss ko na lahat ng mga experimental design. So, yun ay activity 2. Upload ko na lang sa Google Classroom. Again, take note na kapag ginawa niyo yung activity 2, kailangan makita ko yung 6 na steps ng hypothesis testing para makita ko yung sunod-sunod na way kung paano kayo nagde-decide ng proper or appropriate na test na gagamitin for each problem. So, yun lang. Do you have any question? Okay, so kung wala, pwedeng pa-open yung cam ng mga makakapag-open for our attendance. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And thank you. So, see you again next meeting. Holiday sa Monday. So, ang next meeting natin is yung susunod na Monday pa after holiday. Okay, so bye.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Kape. Yung? Sige, bye.